It's our ball, ain't it? It's our ball! Hey! It's our ball! It's our ball! Can he shoot? Yes, I can shoot.
Welcome back to another episode of Ball Don't Lie. I'm your host, Jacob Fraser, with my co-host, Cam Connolly. And we tried to record this a couple days ago in person, but had some audio problems, audio issues. So unfortunately, we couldn't fix them. But it was a good episode, so I'm hoping that the re-recording here will be just as good.
Yeah, it was really unfortunate. One of the best episodes we've recorded, and we were just talking about how we weren't sure how it would go in person, but it was a great episode. But I guess it'll forever be Horizon Lost Media.
Yeah, we'll definitely do it again sometime, and we've learned how to fix those audio issues since. So we'll definitely be doing that again.
Apologies if some of this stuff feels a little scripted. We've already talked about some of it, but
yeah.
I'm sure that we'll have some new conversations as well.
Yeah, definitely. Let's just dive into it because we'll get into our weekly recap here.
Weekly recap.
We'll kick things off just talking about the LA teams, because the Clippers, they were on that 6-game winning streak. They lost recently, but 6-game winning streak, and then the Lakers just struggling out lately. And I mean, it's kind of crazy. Like, the Clippers are now, what's their record here? It's the Clippers are 12-22. They were on a 6-game winning streak. So before that, I think they lost their most recent game. Yeah, they did. So it would have been 6-21 before that 6-game heater. But just what are your thoughts on the Clippers' recent winnings?
Yeah, well, I'm surprised by it, but I feel like I shouldn't be surprised by it, because when you look at that team on paper, they're definitely a team that should be able to rattle off 6 straight wins. I mean, any team with Kawhi and James Harden should be considered a contender, in my opinion. And obviously they were not playing like that, and their criticisms that came with it. I mean, I was on here freaking screaming at the top of my lungs at these guys. But another thing that's kind of flying under the radar, that like the discourse around it has kind of gone away, is OKC's top 3 pick might not be a top 3 pick anymore, which I'm a little glad to see. I don't know about you, but it would have been like a cool scenario to see. Not really cool, but once in a lifetime scenario, I guess, where a team that with the potential to break the wins record could also get a top 3 pick, but maybe it's a happily avoided scenario.
Yeah, I just did a Tankathon draft simulator here, and it's got the Clippers projected to pick 8, or the Clippers pick projected to be 8. So OKC would take that, obviously, but just dropped to 10. So maybe they could pick outside the top 10.
Still a top 10 pick, but
yeah,
it is.
But you're right.
At least it's not top 3.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, you're right. Like, the Clippers roster is pretty good. Obviously, Kawhi, we're going to get into his play recently in a little bit. It's just good to see Kawhi healthy and playing well, because we've seen with the Toronto Raptors, like, obviously on that finals run, he was the reason why they won that championship. He was obviously, Pascal played great. Fred VanVleet played great in that finals run, but Kawhi took them to another level that DeMar couldn't. So seeing Kawhi play at a similar level now with the LA Clippers, I like seeing it. I get he quit on the team. He left to take all this money from Steve Ballmer under the table and blah, blah, blah. But it is good to see Kawhi playing well.
Yeah, well, it's unbelievable. Like, and as Canadians, when the Raptors won that championship, like, that was some of the best memories of my sporting life. Like, when Kawhi hit the shot, everyone knows where you were when Kawhi hit the shot. I was in my living room watching. I remember that shot went up. My dad's like, "Oh, he missed," and boom, 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 boom. I went crazy, and I was late for my ball hockey game because I didn't want to leave, and everyone was late for that ball hockey game, and it was unbelievable. Like, I don't know, where were you when the shot went in?
I was on the ferry. I was headed back to school on the island. And I remember on the ferry, it was impossible to get a seat near the TV. So I'm standing near the back, like, trying to look over people. And I I remember as soon as that shot dropped, I got a phone call from one of our buddies, Thomas, immediately just going nuts. We were going crazy.
Yeah, I will. And then when the Raptors end up, I mean, Kawhi had that crazy left-handed dunk over Giannis too. I remember where I was when that happened. I was in Whistler for that one, and like that's just such an iconic run in the finals. I swear that Raptors championship team is the reason that we've seen such a boom in basketball. Kind of combined with COVID, like it was almost a perfect storm for basketball to kind of emerge as one of the most popular sports in Canada. Like after the Raptors won the finals, me and my buddies, we went. There's a park 2 minutes from my house. We're like, yo, let's go play basketball. It's like 7. I think it was like 7:45. Yo, let's go play basketball. Apparently, everyone else in the neighborhood decided they want to go play basketball, and the way that has just trickled is unbelievable. Like I think we were playing 8-on-8 because there was so many people there to play basketball, but it was just so fun. We were just celebrating the Raptors, and Kawhi is the reason for that.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, like it's just always good for the NBA when the stars are playing at their top level. So when Kawhi's healthy and playing at this level, it's good to see. But let's shift over to the Lakers now because they've fallen down the standings a bit. They're fifth in the West, and just struggling a bit recently.
Well, you can cue the clip right now. You can put a little flashback thing in if this is going to get a clip for Instagram. Who could have thought, huh? Who could have thought that this would happen? Me. I'm the all-seeing being. This Lakers team is not built for success. Like, and I've seen people go as far as to call Nico Harrison a prophet, and I'm not going to go that far. I still think that was a terrible trade. I still think the Lakers absolutely scammed the Mavs. But we're seeing Luka's defense really get exposed right now, and it's becoming a huge problem. And when LeBron James is your leader and he wants to skip out on every team event and just go do stuff and go to the Dodgers game instead of show up and support your own team, it's not good. Like when LeBron wasn't playing, and I don't know what the actual numbers are, but that Lakers team looked like a much more cohesive team than they do now.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And just like to touch on that trade, like obviously it ended up getting the Mavs the number one pick in the draft, and Cooper Flag has been playing extremely well recently. His last two games have been not great, but before that, like he had a 42 point game. He had 30 points, 20 set, like mid 20s, almost every single game before that. Like it's been a great stretch for Cooper Flag. And so the Mavs starting their rebuild around a franchise cornerstone piece in Cooper Flag. Like I feel like you have to be optimistic as a Mavs fan, and you have to be a bit concerned as a Lakers fan right now.
Yeah, and the other thing that, like, I mean, we can get into this a little bit. I would love to get into this. Is like JJ Redick, like, is he the coach? Like, from my perspective, I think that he's just too young. I think that he's a great basketball mind. I think that he's very smart and he just knows the game very well. But I think he is just too young to like fully get the respect of some of those guys, especially because some of those guys on that team played against him and were just better than him. And I think that'd be hard to respect him.
Yeah, you mentioned he's a great basketball mind, and we know that, but you're right. Like he proved that he's a great basketball mind on his podcast with LeBron, but how do you go from having a podcast with a guy to then being his head coach? And I know there's been a lot of discourse in the past about LeBron's coaches, like LeBron is really running the show there with Ty Lue and other coaches, but yeah, I agree with you. Like, I don't know if he necessarily has that respect that a head coach should have because of the fact that, you know, he's buddies with LeBron James. He's buddies with one of the players on the team.
Well, and another thing is he had that clip where he came out and said, I think it was like Monday's practice is going to be uncomfortable for some people. And then DeAndre Ayton goes and takes the interview and says, y'all really believe him? Like, to me, that shows everything that we need to see. They don't respect their coach. They don't really care about winning as a team. Luka, they don't care about like team defense. They don't care about team principles. They just care about me. They care about the spotlight because they're in LA, and they just care about money. I mean, you care about money, fair enough. I can't hate on you for caring about money, but you are playing in the National Basketball Association in the biggest market. The spotlight is already on you. Go out there and win games, and you'll make even more money.
Yeah, 100%. Let's get into some recent news with the Toronto Raptors. Mo Bamba, new addition to the Raptors. What do you think?
I saw some people getting really excited about this, and to me, it was like very nothing burger pickup. Like I was like, all right, picked up Mo Bamba. Like Canucks picked up David Kampf. Like this is in that same. I mean, maybe that's too niche for some of you guys, but like that was in the same realm for me. Like, okay, what has Mo Bamba done? He has a cool song. He's cool in college. Like, I don't know. Like he definitely could be a useful piece. Like David Kampf could be a 2C in the NHL apparently. So I don't know. It's just I think time will kind of tell with that move, and it it didn't really do anything to me, to be honest. But there was a lot of people that were really excited about it, and it just kind of was a head scratcher for me.
Yeah, I just pulled up the Raptors depth chart. He's listed as their fourth center on the team.
Yeah, like he. It was just crazy though to see the buzz around him. I mean, is his name value really boosted that much by one song?
Oh, 100% it is.
Like, and I'm actually genuinely curious, and I think I actually know the answer though. Do more people know Mo Bamba as a song or as a person?
I feel like everybody, like, the if you're talking population wise, it's definitely because of the song.
But even like basketball player wise, if I went up to a random basketball player, I'm like, "Yo, what's Mo Bamba?" Or like if I found a way to like make it not an adverb or whatever, I think
Right.
more people would say song over person. Like, what's the first thing that pops in your head when I say Mo Bamba? Song, song.
Yeah.
Maybe one person like basketball player, and you can get an edit out of that or whatever. But I seriously think more people relate the term Mo Bamba with a song than with a basketball player.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And like he wasn't even doing great in the G League. Like he had okay numbers. I think it was like 12 points per game or something like that and maybe 10 rebounds. Like I don't know. Yeah, I agree. Like it's not a big signing by any means. Like he's maybe going to add like 5 minutes off the bench and come and be like a rim protector
Yeah.
essentially.
Like, don't get me wrong, I would love to see him come in and do great things. Like,
Oh, of course.
I'll never be upset if the Raptors sign a player who comes out of nowhere and starts playing really well. But like, even in some of my group chats, like, yo, we got Mo Bamba. I was like, okay, I don't know, maybe I'm too cool, but
We didn't record since before Christmas. I wanted to get into this Christmas Day game that Nikola Jokic had because it was pretty unbelievable.
oh, like, and I don't know about other people's fantasy leagues, like how their scoring systems work, but in my fantasy league, that was the highest scoring game ever. Like, he scored 101 fantasy points in my league, and it's just straight up ridiculous. Like the things that guy can do without even looking like he cares is crazy. And I was actually watching him play with my dad. I was watching him play. I think it was like the 23rd or the 22nd. He was not playing defense. Like, he does not play defense, but he's so good at offense that literally no one talks about how he just doesn't try on defense. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, for everyone that has forgotten the numbers, 56 points, 16 rebounds, and 15 assists.
Yeah,
Like,
like
that's insane.
it's unbelievable. And he was also mind controlling Anthony Edwards that whole game too. Like, he made Ant get a double tech and get ejected from that game just by messing with him. Like, it was actually so crazy. I've never seen anyone go pick up a ball for a free throw and Anthony Edwards came in and swiped his hand. I'm like, yo, what are you doing? Like, what could Jokic possibly have said that like would have got him so fired up like that?
Well, and we've talked about like in the past when Jokic puts up a triple double, like does it really matter? This is one of those where we mentioned in that previous clip, like this is the shocker, like the
Oh, yeah.
shocker triple double. This is the one that gets you excited. It's the 10, 10, and 10s that don't with Jokic, but 56, 16, and 15 is insane.
Like, dude, like take in, bro. 56, like 56 points. 56 points, 16 rebounds, and what was it? 18 assists or something like that? Or maybe I meant
15 assists.
15 assists. Bro, if you cut those numbers in half, that's a good game. If you cut those numbers in half again, that's still a decent game. Like, that's just unbelievable. It doesn't even make sense. Jokic is actually just broken.
What age group do you think you'd have to be playing against to put up that stat line?
I think I could do it in grade 8. But I don't know about the
Against
assists.
eighth graders right now?
I don't know about the assists, though. Because
Oh, true. I didn't even think about the assists when I asked you that. Yeah.
the points, rebounds, easily I could do it in grade 8.
Yeah.
100% I could do it in grade 8. But the assists, I don't know. So maybe I'd have to have like a good shooting game in juniors or something. But like it's just ridiculous. I mean, I don't even know if I can do that against juniors. And here's Jokic doing it against the best in the world. Like it doesn't make sense, dude.
Yeah, it's crazy. Let's shift topics here. Let's get into some college basketball talk because James Nanjiani or Nanji or whatever however you say his name,
Yeah,
playing for
Nanji.
Baylor University. Nanji, okay, thank you. Playing for Baylor University. I think he just played his first game the other day.
Yeah. He didn't even start, which I thought was funny.
Yeah, but just an NBA player making their way to college basketball. I completely disagree with it. Like I think that it's a bad look for the NCAA, and it just doesn't. It doesn't. It's not what the NCAA should be. The NCAA is amateur players.
Yeah.
So
No, like
I guess what are your thoughts? Yeah.
it's like they open Pandora's box, and like just the butterfly effect from NIL is just unbelievable. Like I never saw this coming when they started to say that they'll start to pay college athletes. I don't know if you ever would have ever imagined this in your wildest dreams.
No.
I certainly didn't. But now what's next? Like there's a big lawsuit that's happening right now between Diego Pavia and the NCAA where he's trying to sue for another year of eligibility. Well, what happens if he wins that lawsuit? Players are just going to be able to play forever, and they're just going to decide to never like age out. Like what? They're going to graduate with 6 degrees. Like what are we doing here? And I know on the basketball side, we actually like came to a solution, and I don't want to be the one to take credit for it because this was your solution. So I'll pass it back over to you to explain this because I think that we actually figured out this issue.
Yeah. So I mean, we talked about this like in the NHL when you can be drafted by a professional team, you can be drafted by an NHL team out of college, and you don't have to play right away. Like the NHL, there's a lot of development that goes into it. You see first round picks all the time, even top 5 picks take 2 or 3 years before they actually make the jump to the NHL. And so with these NCAA players, and especially now with junior hockey players being able to make their way to the NCAA, you can hold their rights for I think it's 3 or 4 years. You can hold the rights of an NCAA player, and
I'm pretty sure it's
as
3.
long as they don't sign, you get to hold on to them, and they can continue to play and develop in the NCAA. And I think if this is where we're headed with NIL and everything in basketball, especially because you can be one and done in the NBA, whereas college football, we talked about this as well. Like college football, you have to play 3 or 4 years college football before you can make that jump to the NFL, right? And so from there, I understand going straight into the league, but some of these NBA players, they could use some extra time to develop, right? And so you can, if you make a rule where you can draft a guy, hold on to their rights for a few years, let them develop in the NCAA, as long as they don't sign a contract, that's totally fine. But once a contract is signed, there's no way a player should be able to stay in the NCAA or go back to the NCAA when things don't work out for them in the NBA, like James Nanji.
Yeah, and the thing is that in hockey, that's how it is. Like if you sign any kind of pro contract, you can't go back. U Sport will take you over. Like here in Canada, you can sign a pro deal, and that's kind of the U Sport gimmick of how they get high level talent. And I don't really have an issue with that because the NCAA doesn't allow that. But I think that like if the NBA adapts this, and I don't understand why it's allowed in hockey and it's not allowed in the NBA. I guess it's the league rules or whatever. But I really think they should look into adapting this because I think that we'll see not only a low caliber of bust, and it is a slippery slope. And the next thing I'm going to say, but if you could start to see the like ability to draft guys out of high school. Like in hockey, you're drafting guys out of high school. A lot of them haven't even played in the NCAA yet, and by doing this, like these guys don't have to declare; they just are draft eligible. They're draft eligible for what 3 years. You don't have to like do the full hockey system, but they're draft eligible for 3 years, and then they can sign with whoever they want. But in the NBA, you have to declare whatever, and you usually have to go to a year of college first. But back to my point, like it just is so logical. Like it's almost too logical for the NBA to not take.
Yeah, I do. The one thing that I do wonder, and we didn't talk about this previously, but I was thinking about this. Just Because there's only 2 rounds in the NBA draft, if you allow players to be eligible for that full 3 years, do you maybe add an extra round or two to the NBA draft? Like in the NHL, we have seven rounds, right?
Yeah, 7.
So if you like maybe you add an extra round or two, and then there's more possibilities for guys to develop in the G League after college as well, like we see in the NHL with the farm systems and things like that. I don't know. I think the obvious solution though is once like if we're going to put it all in a wrap a bow on it, like the obvious solution has to be once you've signed a pro contract with an NBA team, you are no longer eligible for college basketball in the NCAA.
Yeah,
But
or pro
until
contract
then,
period above the age of 18 or something for the European guys.
yeah, I agree. And then, but up until then, like, sure, let guys continue to develop in the NBA, even or in the NCAA, even if they've been drafted by NBA teams. Like, I don't see a problem with that at all.
Yeah, and the other thing to consider is that you're going to boost your name value in the NIL deal. Oh, look at us. We just got this 3rd-round pick from the Charlotte Hornets. Like, all of a sudden, that guy's he might be playing for a high major, but he might be playing for a mid-major. That'll boost the notoriety of these mid-majors and give them bigger name values. The NIL deals will start to roll in. And I know we discussed salary caps and stuff in our in-person episode, and I do think that there should be an avenue of like revenue sharing, and if you're going to have it, there should be like a salary floor. I think that that's the way. You disagreed, but like regardless, like if you have these players who are drafted and still playing in NCAA, you're going to make people want to watch more.
Yeah, 100%. Like your favorite team drafted a guy out of Illinois in the 2nd round. You want to watch that guy, right?
Yeah, I would never watch an Illinois basketball game, but if the Raptors had a prospect playing for Illinois, then I'll tune in.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless it's March Madness, obviously. But
yeah. But yeah, and like let's touch on the salary cap idea quickly because I do think it's a good idea. Like I don't disagree with the salary cap. I think the cap floor would be difficult for some of the smaller schools to get to and everything like that. Like you talked about revenue sharing, yeah, but I just think you can't force schools to pay a certain amount in NIL money, but I think having a cap is a great idea.
yeah, and like when I say revenue sharing, I mean like revenue sharing of NIL money. And I think that right now the system is broken where a rich guy can just get a tax write-off by giving his alma mater like $20 million to go get a quarterback and like whatever. Like I know that there's rumblings of this already like being put in place, but there just needs to be some kind of system because it's not fair the way that it is right now. It's not fair. And we see it more in football, I would say, than basketball, but like it's starting to trickle down to basketball quickly. And then once it trickles down from basketball, like who knows where it's going to go. I think that the fairness of a salary floor will just spread the talent more evenly and make the games better, more competitive. We'll see less like blue blood dominance, you could say. But it's just something that whatever it is, something needs to be done. I think a salary cap is perfect, but I think if you put a salary cap, you have to have a salary floor as well. Right. If you're going to have revenue sharing.
Fair enough. Let's get off the college basketball topic. Let's get into the NBA All-Star voting. I mean, it's just like some of these names are kind of crazy. Like Denny Avdia at 7 in the West right now. I think this was last updated by the NBA. Yeah, December 29th last updated. So Denny Avdia 7th as of December 29th. Ahead of Kevin Durant and LeBron James. James Harden, Anthony Davis. They're all below Denny Avdia.
Yeah. Well, and okay, let's be honest. I'm the face of the LeBron hating club, at least in my local friend group. I'm the face of it. Should Denny Avdia have more votes than LeBron James?
I mean, he's playing well. Like I like to see him get the respect that he deserves. Like he's leading that Portland team into a play-in spot right now, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm not disagreeing with the fact that Denny Avdia deserves to get a look at the All-Star game. I'm just saying, in what world are those real votes? Like, in what world? In what world is Wemby not ahead of? Maybe not. Wemby's a great example, but in what world is Stephon Castle ahead of Kawhi Leonard? Like, in what world is Jamal Murray ahead of Devin Booker? In what world is like LeBron James behind Denny Avdia, bro? Like, what world is Austin Reeves ahead of James Harden? Like, what are we doing here? Like, I just think that, like, even look like last year, LaMelo Ball was leading the East in fan votes, and he didn't even make the All-Star game. And then this year, he has like a million less fan votes. Like, I don't like. Yeah, he's not playing as well, but a million vote discrepancy. I'm starting to question the validity of some of these numbers with these new voting returns.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's crazy. Like, just how much of a how much of an impact does the voting actually have on the All-Star game? Because I know they changed it a while ago.
I think it's like 50% or something.
Okay.
NBA All-Star voting formula. Let's see. Fan rank times 2 plus player rank plus media rank divided by 4. Oh, wait. 50% for fan vote, 25% for players vote, and 25% for media vote. So
Okay, so they still hold a majority.
yeah, and like I don't want to get into like it's just so broken, and it's like a popularity contest. And I do think that like the way that it's set up, like the players vote and whatever, like it does kind of balance it out. But I don't like last year. I mean, I'm getting into last year issue, but there's no world where a player should be number one fan vote and not make the All-Star game.
Yeah.
And there's no world where a player should be like LeBron James should be 10th in All-Star voting. And it's, I don't know. I'm going to bite my tongue on this one.
Well, don't bite your tongue. Tell
No,
us.
I'm biting my tongue. I'm biting my tongue.
Who, like looking at the West and the East, pick one guy. I'm just curious who you think, like outside of the top 5 right now, that you think should be in the All-Star game.
Let's see. Like outside the top 5?
Yeah.
Put me on the spot here, and then as I did, I lost my fan vote thing.
I'll give you mine while you look for that. I'm gonna give it to Denny Avdia. I think he deserves the All-Star credit. Like, he's playing well. Portland Trailblazers were not expected to be very good at all this year, and I mean they're not great, obviously, but just the fact that they're in a play-in spot and he's putting up well over 20 points a game, like I think he deserves a look. And then in the East, I'm kind of leaning towards Brandon Ingram. Maybe it's the Raptors bias, but I think he's playing really well for Toronto, and I'd personally love to see him in the All-Star game this year.
Okay, I found my thing. For me, I think that I got 2 guys I'm kind of looking at, but I think that James Harden like really should get an All-Star nod. Like, he absolutely has this team on his back right now. Well, outside the last 4 games. Mm-hmm. And when in the East, I'm actually going to go like a kind of a surprising route probably for some people, but Josh Hart is sitting there at 16, and just the way that he's been playing outside of the first 2 weeks of the season, he's arguably been an all-star. His game's not flashy. He's not a glorifying, like a glory-filled player. But if you actually watch him play, like he does everything right, and he's the best at what he does. And if that doesn't classify him as an all-star, then I don't know if it's fair to consider it the best players in the NBA, because he is one of the best players in the NBA. He just isn't a stat sheet stuffer.
Right. Yeah, I actually like that nod. I think Josh Hart would be a really good pick for the All-Star game this year. But
if you put a guy like Josh Hart in, maybe we'll raise the level of the game.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, what do you think of the All-Star game? Like, do you ever watch it?
Okay, well, I always want to watch it, but the All-Star game always ends up during my mom's birthday dinner, and my mom's one rule is no sports at the birthday dinner, so I can never watch it. But I always watch the highlights, and outside of, what was it, the year Kobe died, 2020, I think it was, mm-hmm. It's kind of sucked, to be honest. And
yeah,
this is another talking point of last year. Like, the Four Nations last year in hockey was unbelievable. They replaced the All-Star game, And now the NBA is trying to kind of copy that formula with the World versus Team USA. You're not going to get that same passion that you got in the All Star game. I mean, or in the Four Nations. I mean, like that was just like a perfect storm of like try. And in hockey, like there's a bit of like personal pride, but in the NBA, it's like just lazy 3-point shooting. Like no one cares. I wish that they would care and try a little bit more. Like, but it's just you think that those guys really care about being on Team USA? Like, let's be honest here. Team
Yeah,
USA when they're playing against Team World, like it's
yeah. Outside of the Olympics, there's no real pride I think that they take in playing for Team USA, NBA All Stars, or
I
whatever.
mean, they hardly take pride in playing for their NBA team sometimes, it feels like. So to make them try in an all-star game, one thing I really wish they would add to the all-star weekend though is a 1v1 competition. I would absolutely love to watch a 1v1 competition. I can always watch the skills competition because it's always the day before my mom's birthday dinner. But if you put a 1v1 dunk contest and a 3-point contest, those are the only three competitions you need. You don't need that skills challenge. No one cares about who wins the skills challenge. I can't tell you one skills challenge winner in my lifetime. Like, no one cares. Cut that out. Put a 1v1 competition in. Ratings way up. Like, dude, imagine prime Kyrie versus like prime Steph Curry in the
Yeah,
1v1 in the skills competition. Like, or in the All-Star weekend. Like, that would have been just unbelievable. Like the clips you could get, like who's gonna stop KD? Can anyone stop KD? KD versus Kyrie, like oh man, it would have been awesome.
I'd love to see Wemby in that too.
Oh, like could you beat him? Like I don't know.
Yeah, I kind of feel like he would be the favorite.
Oh yeah, but like then what? Could Steph Curry like do some like, exactly? But this is the thing. Could Steph Curry do something? Like we need a 1v1 tournament in an All Star weekend, and this is always a topic that gets brought up after All Star weekend. So I'm bringing it up before All Star weekend because that's who I am. All right, let's get a 1v1 competition in the skills weekend.
Yeah, I agree. Let's move on to our weekly segments here, our MVP and LVP and our Canadian Hooper highlight. We'll kick things off with my MVP. It's from the last couple weeks and not taking into account games yesterday, I think, on Saturday. But my MVP, Kawhi Leonard. The Clippers went 6-0. He had 39 points per game, 8.5 rebounds, doing it on both ends of the floor. He had 2.7 steals per game and 1.5 blocks, and he was shooting 53% from the field. Like we said earlier in the episode, it's great to see Kawhi playing at an elite level, and he's really taking that Clippers team to possibly a play-in spot now.
Yeah, and like I've already said, like I already went on my spiel about Kawhi Leonard, but I wish he would have resigned. He had the city of Toronto in the palm of his hands. And I guess only Kawhi Leonard could walk away from that. So we did everything we could. I mean, I didn't own a business, but I didn't get to Kawhi and dine him. But it would have been awesome to see him return to Toronto, and I wish he did. But whatever. My MVP of the week, and I'm going to be honest, I'm not a fan of this guy. I don't really like the way he plays, and I thought he was really boring in starting five. And I think that him and Domantas Sabonis are the reason that starting five got canceled because they're both just so boring. But that's going to be Jaylen Brown. And these numbers, I'll be honest, they don't include the last game just because we recorded and I didn't get to update them yet. But Jaylen Brown averaged 30 points per game, 51.5% from the field, and he wasn't shooting like a high amount from the three. I think he was making like 1.7 threes a game, which is pretty crazy to consider 30 points per game off one made three. That's 27 points off free throws and 2-pointers, which is really good. But yeah, 7.3 rebounds per game, 5.2 assists, and the Celtics were 5-1 in that span, which is. I was actually surprised when I looked at the standings and saw that I think they're sitting in fourth right now in the East, and Jason Tatum with Celtics team sitting in fourth. Like, if Tatum comes back, do you think like before playoffs, like could Boston kind of go on a run into the finals and potentially come out of nowhere and win it?
Is that a possibility that he could come back for playoffs?
They're saying it to maybe as of right now.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I personally don't think that Tatum, fresh off a year-long injury, is going to bring them to a championship. but or like even to the NBA finals. Like I don't see them getting past the Knicks. I could possibly see them getting past the Cavs, but I do like that is a good question. Like he definitely could if he could come back and not. I don't think it's fair to say like not skip a beat, but if he can come back and be 75-80% of the player that he was before the injury, definitely I could see Jason Tatum helping that team get to an NBA Finals.
Yeah. And then maybe OKC hasn't had a look at them, and then who knows what could happen. But I'll get into my LVP. And if I'm being honest, it wasn't like the craziest week for LVP, but I just have been wanting to hate on this guy for a long time. And I finally get my chance. And that is Paul George, Pandemic P. He is getting my LVP nod this week. He did average 14 points per game, which isn't actually that bad, especially considering he's a washed-up old Paul George. But those 14 points came on 13 field goal attempts a game. That's not going to cut it. No. Like, come on, dude. You're shooting, 34% from the field. You're taking 13 shots a game. I think that the Sixers were actually winning during that time period, but it's just not a long-term recipe for success, and he's got to figure it out or he's got to sit down, and I don't know which one is the right answer, which sucks because I used to like Paul George. He did a couple things, like the way he carried himself in the media and stuff, I wasn't a huge fan of. How he's having podcasts when the Sixers are in the absolute dumps last year, and it was just a weird situation last year, and he kind of lost a lot of standing in my own personal opinion, but not that my opinion matters. But yeah, I mean, he's got to figure it out. 14 points, 13 shots. It's not going to cut it for me.
Yeah, 100%. I'll get in my LVP. I've got Danny Wolf, 5.7 points per game, 31% from the field, 3.2 rebounds, which I just don't think is good enough from a big. And obviously he's not a starter or anything, not expected to score, but shooting 31% from the field on almost 6 points per game, that's not good enough either. But we talked about this clip. Kevin Durant, when Danny Wolf chucked up that brick from 3 and Kevin Durant was like, I can't remember what he said exactly, but he's like, that's a trash shot, Wolf. I thought that was hilarious. So that's why I had to put him as my LVP, because that's just such a bad look for a Rook.
Yeah, and I mean, my friends hate on me for always bringing my fantasy team up, but yeah, I had Danny Wolf, and I'm actually curious. I asked this question on the in-person episode, but we have a niche rule. Well, not niche rule, but we have a rule where you have to have one rookie on your team in my fantasy league, and I probably play in the most serious fantasy basketball league of all time. But I'm curious if, like, for those of you who are still watching, if you could comment like some weird rules that you might have for your fantasy league, like. I'm just curious. Like, we're always looking to add new rules to our league. So if you got any of them, put them down below. I would love to see them. Maybe we could add some to our own league. But yeah, Danny Wolf, you let me down. I had dropped and picked up Colin Murray Boyles.
Oh, okay. I don't know if that's much of an upgrade. I think it's an upgrade, but I don't know if that's much of an upgrade.
Well, I have Pirtle, so someone's got to replace Pirtle's Pirtle's outlook.
Let's get into our final segment here, Canadian Hooper Highlight. We didn't want to do it, but we had to. It's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander once again. 30.3 points per game, 59% from the field, 6.3 assists, and 1.9 steals, just under 2 steals a game. It's hard not to highlight him every week when we're talking Canadian players, but this was a week where we had to.
Yeah, and I've actually seen some discourse about this. Shai is, for some reason, his legacy will always be free throw merchant. Like, he's just good at drawing fouls. For some reason, that's not James Harden's legacy, even though he did it way more. But I was actually looking at like the numbers, and he's not even in the top 3 in free throws attempted this season. He's behind Denny Avdia. He's behind, and I'm blanking on it right now, but like. This notion of free throw merchant has followed him around, but no one's giving him credit for the way that he's expanded, the way he's expanded his game. He's adapted to the way people are guarding him. Like, he's just an unstoppable player. He is a counter for your counter. Like, he's so good with the ball in his hands. And I've said it before. He's added a 3-pointer to his game. He hits him off dribble, like going to his right, going to his left, off screen. Like, give him credit. He's not a free throw merchant. He's a great basketball player, and he's Canadian, and he's my favorite player. Kind of.
Kind of. What kind of?
He's Canadian, all right? He's my favorite Canadian player. And he's the greatest Canadian player to ever do it.
Yeah, we were talking about that. Do you already have him ahead of Steve Nash?
I do, and he has a championship, and he is I could be wrong on this. I'm pretty sure he's the only Canadian to ever win a Finals MVP. So
yeah, I think you're right. Keep talking. I'll look that up.
Yeah, he has an MVP. Steve Nash has an MVP, and Steve Nash has 2 MVPs. One of them is heavily debated. Shea's MVP is not. Well, I guess it is kind of debated with Jokic, but people argue that Shea should have 2 already because that first one, even Shaq. I mean, I don't agree with what Shaq did, but when he's interviewing Jokic, he's like, I think Shea should have won this MVP. That was unfair of Shaq. But he's the first Canadian, I think, to be the best player on a championship team. He's the first Canadian, I'm pretty sure, to win the Finals MVP. I think that enough is to make him the best Canadian basketball player of all time. And I'm just going to say it. If he wins another championship and another MVP, I think he's top 5 all time.
Yeah, I think it's hard for me to put him ahead of Steve Nash, especially just with all the nostalgia around Steve Nash and him also being a BC guy like we are. But I definitely can hear the argument and can kind of agree, but I'm hesitant to. But I do think either another MVP or another championship even. He doesn't even have to win a Finals MVP. I think that would 100% solidify him as the greatest Canadian of all time. And then I don't know about top 5 though. I don't know if I can get on board there with another MVP and Finals MVP.
Yeah, well, when it's all said and done, you'll have a different opinion. Trust me.
Well, is there anything else that you wanted to get into?
Yeah, I just wanted to highlight that Knicks Cavs Christmas Day game. That was just one of the best ways to wake up on Christmas and watch that. It was just electric. Donovan Mitchell comes down, snake dribble off that screen to boom, and I'm like, oh my god! And then Tyler Kolek, I thought it was Dusty Stromer. I thought Dusty Stromer was still at Grand Canyon. And I'm looking, I'm like, oh my god, it's barbecue chicken from 3. But he was barbecue chicken from 3 last night. It was unbelievable. Not last night, on that day. That's just one of the greatest games I've ever seen. One of the greatest Christmas Day games I've seen. And it felt like you never knew it was going to happen. And to see the Knicks walk away, it was a crazy comeback too. Just an unbelievable game.
Yeah, 100%. I didn't get the chance to tune into much of that game, but I saw the highlights and everything. Yeah, it was an exciting one, definitely. But yeah, if that's everything, we can wrap up there. We took a little bit of a break over Christmas break. The whole channel did. Not a huge fan of that, but whatever.
You guys pissed off the big boss.
No, I'm not. It didn't piss me off. I wanted to keep the content rolling out a little bit over the new year. Obviously, fine with people taking few days off.
No, you hear this guy? He wants us to work every day. He wants us to work on the holidays too. Someone sponsor us, so at least we're getting paid to work.
But be sure to check out some of our other content on the Horizon Media YouTube channel and our other social channels. We've got them linked down below in the description. And yeah, we'll be rolling out a lot of new content in the new year. It'll be a lot of fun, I think. We're going to be upgrading some things soon here. And so yeah, be sure to check all of that out on the Horizon Media YouTube channel, and make sure to like and subscribe on this episode. And thank you for listening to another episode of Ball Don't Lie.